What's poppin'? YouTube. If you guys watch Mod the God, which I watch, like, I love how he says YouTube. He goes like, he's like, YouTube. Like, wait, not YouTube. Like, I can't do his voice because I don't got the manly depth up in there, but if you watch his videos.
Yeah, ain't no fun in games. Baby, this the book of war. Tell them stay out of my mentions. Tell them to see me on tour. I'm changing the lanes. Whole squad on board. When he pull up, they applaud. When he pull up, they applaud. Ain't no fun in games. Nah.
Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Tanara Imani, and for those of you, who've been subscribed and are seeing this, you guys already know. I'm sorry, the past few videos I realized that I never said my name, but it's Tanara Imani. A lot of people call me T. Alright, but this is gonna be a really quick, super short video. What we finna do is I'm gonna share with you guys my 30-day study plan for passing the Nclex. If you want to know how many questions it took me to pass the Nclex, watch my previous video. If you want to know how I use Uworld, if you want to know how I felt after my exam, everything that has to do with the Nclex and nursing, whether that be like being a nursing student, studying, how to get through certain courses like patho, how I studied, nursing interviews, nursing jobs, vlogs, everything of that sort will be happening on this channel. So make sure you stay tuned and you subscribe, okay? And turn your post notifications on, okay? Don't listen, I'm gonna say it again later in the video, but don't be petty. Like, don't be watching this and not clicking the button. Just click it. Okay, so we're gonna get into how I studied and how I studied for the Nclex in 30 days. I'm looking for my phone and it's right there. So I showed this in a previous video, but I'm gonna go a little bit more in depth with it. This is like the holy grail of Nclex right here. Like, this was my life for a few months. And so I'm just gonna say first, like, what I did to study for the exam. So what I did was, I think I started, like, I'm gonna include a screen recording of my test so you can see exactly when I started studying. To me, I feel like I didn't really start studying until July 4th, and then like actually how I should have on July 5th. So I can't remember what it was that, I think it was something like I did 25 questions on like July or in like the end of June. Like, I tried to start, like, literally this is me procrastinating. Like, guys, I tried, and it's hard, it's not easy, so don't beat yourself up, but eventually you are gonna have to start. Like, you're gonna have to start, so you might as well just start. But as you can see, I tried to start studying at the end of June, and like, I think a whole week or more passed by until I opened up Uworld again. I thought purchasing it was really going to make a difference for me, but obviously it didn't. I said one day, and that's F this. But yeah, so July 4th, I was supposed to, hold on, let me halt in my tracks. So basically, I divided the total number of Uworld questions. Now, the number of questions can change daily because they add, like, when they're collecting data on questions into Uworld. But when I started Uworld, there was exactly 2,184 questions. And so since I was starting on July 4th, I divided that by the amount of days that I wanted to study for. So I knew that my exam was August 5th and I wanted time to review. So I was like, I'm gonna give myself all of August, not all of August, but like before my exam to review, and then the month before, I was gonna use that entire month to study. Now we're already 4 days into the month, so you could do the math. You do 31 days in July. You starting on the 4th. I divided the days, and essentially it said I had to do 78 questions a day. Y'all, it didn't go too hot. Like, it really didn't go too well. So I think what happened was at the end of June, when I did the questions, I did 25. Like, I think I only did 25. And so you can watch my previous video. It tells you all the details about like how Uworld works and stuff like that. I'm not gonna go into it in this video, but I did 25, and then the next time I started was July 4th, and so that day I was supposed to do 78, and I started with adult health, and I started with a pretty like hefty section, and so basically like I only did 50 questions. Like, I did 2 sets of 25. And so from that day on, I kind of had to recalculate. You'll see how the math works out. But essentially, like, that 50 plus the 25 from the other time pretty much equaled like 75. So I did an extra 3 questions, I think, on the next day. But literally from July 5th all the way to the end, I did 78 questions a day. Like, consistently. Like, no days off. No days off, because like I procrastinated to the point where like if I wanted to finish Uworld and I didn't want to drive myself insane, I need to do 78 questions a day. And so 78 questions is a lot, but I was like, I could take a day off, you know, if you do what you need to do and like what's best for you. But for me, it was like, if I take a day off, that's 78 more questions I have to answer that has to spread out on the days remaining. And so I just stuck to that. Like, I could have scheduled it with days off. Maybe I would have done 100 questions a day, but like to me that was too much. Like, 78 was already like the number 78. I never want to see it again, ever. But yeah, so that's how I divided the questions. I feel like you shouldn't take more than 2 days off of studying, just because you're just in the rhythm of it. Like, I wouldn't even want to take a day off sometimes, just because like I don't want to get out of the routine of doing it. And like, it depends on the person, you know, but personally I didn't want to get out of the routine of doing it, and so I consistently did it every day. I wouldn't recommend taking more than 2 days, just because like I feel like it's all in your brain. Like, you're consistently, even if you take a day off, like I feel like just do 10 questions. Like, you know, you can make your schedule however you want to make your schedule. Personally, I didn't go all out and print a calendar and do like, oh, I can check this day off. Like, I'm that type of person where I like crossing stuff out, but it really wasn't the time. I was really in my bag the whole time. Quarantine has been rough for me, but also for everybody else, and there's been a lot going on, and like that was just extra, and I didn't have time for extraness in any part of my life. But yeah, so I wrote a lot for studying for the Nclex, and so I showed this first page before. I know y'all, like, if you listen, I would be that person too that would like pause the video and at least just screenshot this one page. Like, I'm her. But essentially, what I did was I just write my notes a certain way. You can write your notes however you want to write them, but how I went through is like, again, I explained this in another video, so if you want more in-depth details, but this is also a good video to pair with the other one, I went first by like kind of category. I forgot what Uworld calls it, but I went by, I don't want to say system, but like, I can't think of the name, guys. Like, what do you call this? I'm literally about to look it up on Uworld because it's gonna make me mad. It's gonna make me upset. I also think it's a good idea to download the Uworld app. I use it sometimes when I was out and I wanted to do questions, just to decrease the amount of questions I had to do when I get home, or if I had like an emergency or something. There's been a few times that happened where I just had to like get dressed and leave the house, and so whether it's like 8 in the night or like 2 in the morning, I at least had the app on my phone, and I was able to wait in the car and do questions if I was waiting and stuff like that. Alright, I feel like I explained this wrong in my other video. Oopsies. Alright, so you have subjects and you have systems. Let's just call it a freaking subject. See, wow, you haven't been in school that long. But yeah, I did it by, I go by subject, and then from the subject, I go by system. Yeah. And so it tells you how many questions are in each subject, and then within each subject, in the system section, it tells you how many questions are within each system. So, for example, like, adult health, this is adult health, the subject, and then the system is endocrine, and that's how I went. And so let's say I have to do 78 questions a day, but let's say there's only 60 questions in endocrine, I would go to the next system, but I would only do 18, and then I could continue that system for the next day. Sometimes I would like see the numbers and add it out so I can like cross off systems and not have it like overlap, but that doesn't always work out. So you might have to just like adjust in that sense, but literally you see like how it goes. Can you? Well, you guys can't see. Can't even. Hold on. All right. This is what it looks like. Sorry if you couldn't see earlier. I'm a dumbass. But yeah, so it says endocrine, adult health, and it's like front and back. And this is how I took my notes. Like, you can see, like, this is pretty much all you need to know for endocrine. You can kind of see how long it might take you to go through a section. You can also like time the amount of time that you're gonna need to get through this. And so for me, I remember this first day, it took me like 8 hours. But adult health for me is the hardest. I feel like it's the biggest section. If I had to name 3 systems I hate the most, from like least to greatest, it would be like neuro, endocrine, and cardiac. So I started with endocrine. I wasn't finna start with cardiac because I was finna quit. Like, I didn't want to push myself too hard because I was finna quit, sis. But literally, this is all still endocrine. Okay, ready? So then when I went to the next section, ready? It just so happened to start on the next page, which is perfect for hypochondriacs like me that love organization. And it says urinary and renal. And this is like my notes for urinary and renal stuff. And it just keeps, it just keeps going and going and going and going. Yeah. It's great, isn't it? Yeah. So, this is how I did it. I didn't use any other resources. I literally had, if you do the math, I don't know, what is 27? Like, I technically studied in 28 days. Like, I thought I was gonna need, like, I was gonna do 4 to 6 weeks. I didn't want to do anything less than 4 weeks for the Nclex, but it was literally 4 weeks, and then a couple of days afterwards to kind of review. And like, I didn't take 2 days off, but I was like very chill with reviewing because I finished on a Friday, which is the 31st of July, and then Saturday and Sunday, which are the 1st and 2nd of August. I was very chill. Like, I would just, at that point, like, I was just over it. Like, I was just like, honestly, if I pass, I pass. If I fail, I fail. Like, I was tired, y'all. Then I got it back together the next week because it was crunch time. But yeah, don't, like, I wasn't able to review all of this in depthly. Like, maybe if I had a week or like 2 weeks, but like, it's pretty impossible. And even going through it, I would remember stuff when I would do the sections, but like certain things, it's just like, you're just not gonna, you're gonna have to guess, but it's not gonna test you on everything. Try to remember the things that are commonly tested on. Know your lab values. I will link some links below that are like very helpful for me and what I used to study. Look up Quizlets, just all of that. If you have any questions, even if it's like, oh, like, do you know a resource that can help with this, like, let me know and I'll definitely comment back to you. Yeah, and so yeah, I did pharmacology last. If you guys are wondering what order I went in, I don't know if I can like figure that out really quickly right now. I would have had to do this before this video, but I know I did adult health first, I did pharm last, and right before pharm I did mental health, and then I did maternity after adult health. But oh yeah, and so I was saying that it took me like 8 hours that first day, and I'm not kidding, with like little breaks to use the bathroom or to eat. That would be my incentive. I'd literally be like, okay, you can eat now. You finished 50 questions. And I would break down the questions. I wouldn't do like a set of 78 at once. Like, I would do, usually I would say I would do 25, and then I would do 30, so that's 55, and then I would do like 22. That's what I would do. If I just spit and you saw that, I'm sorry. But yeah, I would break it down like that, or I would do 35, 25, and then like 18. So I usually would do at least like 3, it would end up being 3 to 4. It would be broken up into 3 to 4 sections, is how I would study. And I successfully did it in 30 days. And you can too, boo. Don't let nobody tell you no different, you know? You know you. Yeah, and then at the very end, I had like post-it notes as I went along of like little things, like I wanted to make sure I remembered like cranial nerves, well, that's not really important. Cranial nerves, med math, the difference in solutions, because I always struggle with solutions and knowing what solution to use. But yeah, that's pretty much it. And then at the very end, I wrote like the most pertinent lab values. So yeah, I'll do, if you guys want a video on lab values and how I remembered them and little tricks and tips, like let me know and I'll do a video on that. Comment if this video was helpful. Let me know anything that I could add that could help you out. I'm an open book, literally. Yeah, but you feel smart as hell when you finish, because you are. You don't need the validation of Nclex. You don't need that license. Nah, you do. But I just wanted this to be a super short, quick video on what I used to study / like how I studied and how I was able to do it in 30 days. Let me know if this helped. Also, let me know if you passed your Nclex. Congratulations on graduating if you're watching this and you graduated. The class of 2020 is a special class, and don't let nobody tell you any different. Alright, bye guys.